Urgent Atlanta Falcons fans. Do not miss this. What just happened? You won't believe this one. But before we reveal the big news, make sure to subscribe to the channel, because here, we bring you daily videos with the latest Atlanta Falcons updates. And to not miss anything, activate the notifications. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got some really intriguing developments swirling around the Atlanta Falcons and the NFL quarterback market, and trust me, you don't want to miss a second of this. The NFL offseason is always packed with surprises, trades, rumors, and strategic moves, and right now, the Falcons are right in the middle of it all. It's like a chess game, and the pieces are moving fast. So, let's dive into the latest updates, starting with the big picture that has every Falcons fan talking. What's happening with the quarterback situation, especially regarding Kirk Cousins and the potential trade chaos in the league. Now, if you've been following the NFL news cycle, you know that the quarterback market is hotter than ever. Teams are eager to find that franchise quarterback, that guy who can lead them into the playoffs and beyond. But what about the Falcons? Well, they've been quietly exploring options, trying to see if they can find a solution that makes sense for their roster and their future. And one of the key stories right now is the possible trade of Kirk Cousins, a veteran quarterback who's been a reliable presence in Minnesota but may be on the move this offseason. Let's set the scene for a moment. The NFL insider world is buzzing with reports that the trade market for Kirk Cousins is closing in on a decisive moment. Why? Because the NFL draft, OTAs, minicamps, these are all critical windows for teams to pull off major trades, especially for quarterbacks. It's a period where teams evaluate their roster needs, look at their cap space, and try to make strategic moves that could define their upcoming season. And for Cousins, this might be his last shot to find a new team, unless the Vikings decide to keep him or some unforeseen circumstances arise. Now, where does this leave the Falcons? Well, Atlanta has been linked to Cousins as a potential target, especially since they're looking to upgrade their quarterback position, which has been a point of discussion among fans and analysts alike. It's no secret that the Falcons' current quarterback situation has been a topic of debate. They've got Desmond Ridder, who showed flashes last season, but many believe they could use a more experienced arm to push the team further into the playoffs. Kirk Cousins, with his proven track record and steady leadership, could be an interesting fit, if the price is right. And speaking of the price, that's where things get really complicated. Cousins is owed a hefty sum, over $40 million remaining on his deal, and that's a significant barrier for most teams. The Falcons, for their part, have been trying to find a trade partner willing to take on a larger chunk of that salary. So far, reports indicate that teams are only willing to pay around $10 million of Cousins' salary, which is a fraction of what he's owed. The Falcons, on the other hand, are aiming for closer to $20 million in offsetting the salary, creating a bit of a standoff. This is a common dilemma in NFL trades. Teams want to cut costs, while the player's current team wants to recoup as much as possible. Now, here's an interesting twist. On March 15th, Kirk Cousins received a $10 million guaranteed roster bonus. This was a significant trigger, and it's been the subject of much speculation. Some thought the Falcons might move him before this bonus was guaranteed, but that didn't happen. So, now, if a trade does materialize, the Falcons will be responsible for paying that bonus, adding another layer to the negotiations. If Cousins stays in Atlanta, the Falcons will owe him the $90 million guaranteed on his contract, making him a valuable asset even as a backup, should he stay on the roster. Let's take a moment to look at the big picture. The NFL offseason is a tense period, especially for teams like the Falcons that are trying to build a competitive roster while managing salary cap constraints. The quarterback market is one of the most intriguing aspects because it can reshape team fortunes overnight. The rumor mill suggests that if Aaron Rodgers turns down the opportunity to join the New York Jets or the Packers, the Pittsburgh Steelers could be the next destination for him. That's huge because it could open a spot for Cousins, or someone similar, to land in Pittsburgh. The Steelers have been eyeing a veteran presence to stabilize their offense, and Cousins fits that mold perfectly. but right now, the focus is on Rodgers' decision. The Steelers' owner, Art Rooney, has made it clear that they expect Rodgers to sign with them, especially with mandatory minicamp coming up from June 10 to 12. So, the clock is ticking for Rodgers, and in turn, it could mean a domino effect for other quarterbacks like Cousins. This situation is not just about the big names. It's about how these moves impact the entire league. For the Falcons, the question is, do they pull the trigger on a trade that might seem costly now but could pay off in the long run? Or do they hold on to Cousins, with the possibility of him being a valuable backup or even a mentor for a young quarterback like Ritter? It's a strategic decision that could shape their season, especially considering their roster needs and cap space. And let's not forget the broader context of the Falcons' offseason. They've been aggressive in free agency, adding key pieces to bolster their defense and offensive line. They've also been looking to improve their receiving core, which is already loaded with talented players like Drake London and Kyle Pitts. But the quarterback position remains a critical question mark. Do they believe in Desmond Ritter's potential to be their long-term answer? Or are they willing to take a chance on a veteran like Cousins, who can bring stability and leadership? These are the questions that Falcons fans are asking right now, and the upcoming weeks should provide some clarity. Now, back to the trade market. The NFL is a league where timing is everything. A trade can happen literally overnight, especially if a team faces injuries or unforeseen struggles during OTAs or training camp. As of now, the window for Cousins to be traded is narrowing, and the Falcons are watching closely. If a team swoops in and offers something close to their valuation, around $20 million in salary offset, they might pull the trigger. Otherwise, there's a real chance that Cousins remains in Atlanta, at least for another season, possibly as a high-paid backup or a bridge until they find their next franchise quarterback. What makes all of this even more fascinating is the history of the Falcons' quarterback situations. Over the years, they've tried everything, from drafting young prospects like Matt Ryan to signing veteran free agents in hopes of finding consistency. Ryan's departure opened the door for a new era, and even though Desmond Ridder showed promise last season, the team's management clearly wants more stability at the position. Bringing in Cousins, if feasible, would be a significant move that signals their intent to contend sooner rather than later. It would also serve as a mentor role for Ridder, helping him develop in a more structured environment. Finally, let's consider the fans' perspective. Falcons fans have been through a lot recently, some ups, some downs, and a lot of hope for the future. The quarterback situation is always a hot topic, and the idea of landing a proven veteran like Kirk Cousins creates a lot of excitement. It would bring experience, leadership, and a chance for the Falcons to finally make a real playoff push. But there's also a cautious side. Fans know how tricky NFL trades can be, how expensive they are, and how much depends on timing and negotiations. Still, the anticipation is building, and everyone is eager to see how the story unfolds. So, what's next? Well, the NFL offseason is unpredictable, but one thing's for sure, the Falcons are paying close attention to all these moving parts. The Rodgers saga, the Steelers' plans, the trade negotiations for Cousins, they all intertwine in this intricate dance of NFL offseason strategy. Whether Cousins stays in Atlanta or moves elsewhere, it's clear that his situation is one of the most talked about topics right now. The Falcons are carefully weighing their options, balancing cap space, roster needs, and future potential. And with the draft approaching and minicamps just around the corner, the next few weeks will be crucial in shaping the Falcons' roster for 2024. Remember, folks, the NFL offseason is where legends are built, trades are made, and futures are decided. So stay tuned, because I'll be right here breaking down every development, analyzing what it means for Atlanta, and keeping you updated on all the latest news. Whether it's a blockbuster trade or a surprising signing, the Falcons' story is far from over, and I promise, there's plenty more to come. And now, Atlanta Falcons fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Atlanta Falcons. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Atlanta Falcons news.